Bezos has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in anti-aging research. Peter Thiel takes human growth hormone and is exploring young blood transfusions. Bryan Johnson spends $2 million a year trying to reverse his biological age. The ultra-wealthy aren't just building empires, they're racing against time to preserve them. Today, I'm revealing 6 reasons why longevity has become the ultimate status symbol for billionaires, and what it means for how they think about their bodies, their legacy, and their wealth. If you don't know me already, my name is Seth Green. I run the Capital Performance Solution, which is built for rich guys who want to look, operate, and perform at a superhuman level. In this video, I wanted to share with you my experiences in working with men that earn 6 to 9 figures annually, and what they do that makes them operate on a higher level than the average brokey Joe or destitute Denny. After operating with the ultra-rich in a one-on-one setting, I've noticed something fascinating. The wealthier someone becomes, the more obsessed they become with staying alive. But this isn't all vanity. This isn't about looking good at the country club. This is strategic. This is about empire preservation. This is about compounding decades of knowledge, relationships, and influence that cannot be replaced or bought. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how the ultra-wealthy think differently about investing in their bodies, and how the Capital Performance Solution can help you apply these same principles to your own health and wealth strategy. So let's dive in. Part 1, the longevity obsession. When you have millions or billions of dollars, you can buy just about anything. Private jets, cars, political influence. But there's one thing money can't buy: more time. And that drives millionaires and billionaires absolutely crazy. I've sat across from clients who are worth 9 figures, who are more stressed about their biomarkers and longevity than their entire stock portfolio. They'll spend 3 hours in a hyperbaric chamber, but won't waste 5 minutes on a pointless phone call. Why? Because they've done the math. If you're 60 years old and worth 500 million, and your investments return 10% annually, every extra year you live is worth $50 million. Every decade, $500 million. And it's not just about the money. One of my richest clients told me something that stuck with me. He said, "I've spent 40 years building relationships with presidents, CEOs, and power brokers. I've accumulated knowledge that doesn't exist in any book. If I die tomorrow, all that dies with me. My kids will inherit the money, but they cannot inherit my network or my instincts." And that's when it clicked for me. Longevity isn't about vanity. It's about legacy preservation. A legacy that requires a precise protocol to tack additional years onto. The ultra-wealthy understand that their greatest asset isn't money. It's that irreplaceable combination of experience, relationships, and strategic thinking that they've built over the decades. More time equals more compounding of all of those assets, not just their financial ones. Part 2, the body is the ultimate investment. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Ask any hyper-successful entrepreneur what their most important asset is, aside from time. What they will agree on almost unanimously is that their body and their mind are equally as valuable as time, because they are. Think about it. You can diversify your portfolio. You can hire the best team. You can have backup plans for your backup plans, but you only get one body. I've watched these guys negotiate hundreds of thousands of dollars in as little as 30 seconds. Then they spend hours with me debating on how to improve their mitochondrial function and fat burning efficiency just to stave off any blood sugar drops while they're in that superhuman mode. They have personal physicians on retainer. Not for when they're sick, but for optimization. Monthly blood panels, genetic testing, continuous glucose monitors, sleep trackers, HRV monitoring. One client I work with spends $500,000 a year on his health optimization protocol alone. He's got a private optimization team, a hyperbaric oxygen chamber that he goes in 3 times a week. He gets IV therapy, peptide treatments, stem cell procedures, a personal chef that prepares meals for him based on his genomic profile. He has a trainer 4 days a week, a monthly executive health assessment, and then myself. To him, that's not an expense. It's the best ROI he gets on anything. He told me, "I can make another 10 million, but I cannot make another decade." So here's what most people miss. The average person thinks, "I can't afford to spend 500K on my health." And the billionaire thinks, "I can't afford to not invest in my health." It's not about the dollar amount. It's about the priority. A regular person might spend $200 a month on a gym membership that they never use. They'll eat fast food to save time, skip doctor's appointments because they're too busy, and then wonder why they feel like garbage at 50 while they have a heart attack and lose 5 to 7 prime earning years due to the health complications. A billionaire, they're gonna wake up at 5 a.m. for a workout, no fucking excuses. They meal prep or hire somebody to optimize their nutrition. They get quarterly executive physicals. They invest in preventative care, not reactive treatment. They track biomarkers and data obsessively. They treat sleep like it's a performance metric. One of my clients said something profound. Most people are penny wise and pound foolish with their health. They'll negotiate, they'll haggle just to save $50 on a doctor's visit, but won't think twice about losing 10 years of their life due to their poor habits. Billionaires don't wait until something breaks to fix it. They invest before it's a problem. Your body is a vehicle for creating wealth. Treat it like the asset that it is. Number 3, time horizons and empire thinking. Now let's talk about how billionaires think about time horizons differently than everybody else. Most people think of terms of years, maybe decades, if they're planning for retirement. Billionaires think in terms of generations. When you're building an empire, it's not just about thinking about your lifetime, but you're thinking about your children's lifetime, your grandchildren's lifetime, making an impact today and beyond. This is why longevity becomes existential. I had a conversation with a client who's in his 50s. He's worth over $2 billion. He's developing new banks in foreign countries from scratch. I asked him, why? You've already won. Why not just retire at this point? And he said, because I have insights now that I didn't have at 40. My network is stronger, my judgment is better, my pattern recognition is sharper. If I can operate at this level for another 40 years, I can build something that supports my family, my team, and stands the test of time for the next 200 years. That's empire thinking. He's not building for himself. He's building for a legacy that outlives him. But he needs to be alive to steward it through the critical phase. This is why you see billionaires like Warren Buffett still running Berkshire Hathaway at 94, Rupert Murdoch running News Corp until he was 92, Charlie Munger worked until he died at 99, Summer Redstone was involved in Viet Cong into his 90s. They're not workaholic. They're literally empire builders who understand their active involvement is what preserves and grows their kingdom. He told me his goal was to optimize his health to the point that he could put his entire team on the right protocol. His right-hand man is 78, and he told him he intends to get another 30 productive years out of him, working 19 to 20 hour days when they're in crunch time. So here's an excerpt of the handwritten notes he sent to me on exactly what his goals are and how he intends to optimize himself and everyone on his executive team for maximal output as they broaden their empire into Dubai and other strategic locations. The average person would complain about working too much. Yet here's someone who already has more money than entire countries, wanting to work more and put himself at a higher state of being to be able to push those boundaries. The ultra wealthy just live on a different wavelength than the average person that's obese, stuck in mediocrity, and full of limiting beliefs as to why their wife won't let them become something more than a footnote in history. But here's something people don't realize. You don't have to be a billionaire to think this way. If you're building a business, raising a family, creating something meaningful, you have a legacy too. And your ability to see through it depends on your longevity. A 45-year-old entrepreneur who takes care of their body and lives to 90 gets 45 years more of compounding knowledge, relationships, and wealth. A 45-year-old who burns out, eats like shit, never exercises, and dies at 70 only gets 25 years. That's 20 years of lost potential. 20 years of not seeing your grandkids grow up. 20 years of deals you didn't close, wisdom you didn't share, impact you didn't make. Being a lazy average person literally cost you decades and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in wealth and experience. Yet, most people are okay losing it all over saving 5 to 10K, while blowing that same amount of money every single year on fucking junk food. At the end of the day, longevity isn't selfish, it's strategic. Being selfish allows you to build the empire that allows you to be the philanthropist and allows you to piss off all the socialists that cope and seethe over your fucking empire. The longer you can operate at peak performance, the more you can compound the things that matter: wealth, wisdom, relationships, and legacy. And now for the mindset shift. Prevention versus reaction. So here's the fundamental difference between how billionaires and average people approach health. Average people are reactive and make changes based on emotions. This leads to uncertainty and mediocre living conditions that are very turbulent. Billionaires are preventative and use data to reverse engineer their future into a certainty. Let me break this down. The average person ignores health until something goes wrong. Then they treat the symptom, not the root cause. They see healthcare as an expense to minimize. They will not invest in becoming the man they say they want to be because they think healthy enough is good enough. They'll sacrifice sleep, nutrition, and exercise for mindless, low-skill work that keeps them stuck where they are. They view aging as an inevitable decline, and it validates all the excuses they make. The ultra-rich, they optimize health issues before they become issues. They invest in root cause diagnostics. They see health and longevity as their highest ROI investment. They will have a team of experts monitoring them constantly. They think that world class is the baseline. They protect sleep, nutrition, and exercise like sacred cows. And this has them optimized down to the decimal. They view aging as a solvable problem. And I'll give you the perfect example. I have a client who discovered through routine blood work that he had early markers for cardiovascular disease. Asymptomatic, he felt fine. Most people just ignore it. His response? Immediately hired a preventative cardiologist, changed his entire diet. He started our Prime Legacy peptide protocol, and I customized the ancillaries for him. He implemented a hyper-specific exercise regimen and then activated my blue chip rejuvenation protocol. The cost? About $75K, all costs considered. The result? He reversed the early indicators, and now he's healthier at 62 than he was at 50. He took the average person's salary and extended his earnings by 20 years in one fell swoop. That $75K in maintenance just bought him an additional $30 million at the absolute minimum. Now compare that to people who ignore the warning signs. That person that has a heart attack at 55, gets emergency surgery, goes on disability, and loses those productive years of their life. What's the real cost here? You could have spent as little as $10K to preserve your health, quality, and your family. That family that depends on you, and you could have provided them hundreds of thousands of dollars towards generational wealth. And that's only coming from a measly $75K salary. The average finance professional makes $159,000. Just the average performer living like a dividend douchebag and playing the small game just cost themselves $1.6 million in salary alone, not including bonuses, deals lost, or compounding in investments. Now take the average vested total at 55 and combine those sunk costs into an 8% compounding rate. Now I want you to go ahead and pause this video. Drop a comment down below with your guess on how much money this person has been leaving on the table by neglecting their health and their family. Got it? The total is $7.4 million. $7.4 million lost by not investing in himself and his family. That's fucked up. And the ultra wealthy understand this. It teaches us something profound. 1 ounce of prevention is worth a fortune of cure. They understand that your health is the foundation for everything else. You cannot build wealth if you're dead. You can't enjoy your wealth if you're sick. You can't transfer the wisdom if you're not around. Compounding relationships is impossible when you're gone. You can't provide your son or daughter that head start you wish you had when you're festering in the ground. Your empire dies with you in its infancy if you don't invest in your own health and longevity to see it through. Now, one of my favorite quotes from this year came from my client, Chris. He said, "I don't understand people who say they're too busy to take care of their health. What are you gonna do with all that money when you're too sick to enjoy it? What good is an empire if you're not there to run it? You aren't a real man if you cannot provide for your family." And the insight I got from that is the wealthiest people in the world don't view health spending as a cost. They view it as the ultimate insurance policy on everything else they built. Without your health and longevity, nothing else matters. Now, part 5, the protocols that they actually use. So what are multi-million and billionaires actually doing to extend their lifespan and produce like superhumans? Based on what I've observed and built, here are the most common protocols. Number 1, comprehensive diagnostics. A full body MRI scan annually. Advanced blood work, including target date insights. Genetic testing and analysis. Weekly dominance audits. They have a macro allocation synthesis. Sleep quality tracking. VO2 max and metabolic testing. And they're not guessing about their health. They're measuring everything with data, just like they do in business. Number 2, they use pharmaceuticals and supplementation in a smart way as preventatives. They use our compounding productivity protocol, including cerebral lysine. peptide therapies, hormone optimization, including TRT and HGH, customized supplement protocols based on blood work. Everything is doctor prescribed and monitored. This isn't some wellness influencer bullshit. This is medical grade optimization. Number 3, they use advanced therapies, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, red light therapy, cryotherapy, stem cell treatments, PRP injections, ozone therapy. Number 4, lifestyle optimization. This is where they implement my Wealthy Body formula. They have private chefs or meal prep services. They focus on sleep optimization and track it meticulously. They have stress management, including meditation, therapy, breath work, and mental health audits. Along with this comes social connection, because loneliness kills and they know this. Now here's what's important. You don't need to do all of this, and you definitely don't need to spend $2 million a year like Bryan Johnson. But you can adopt the mindset. This is what you need to start with. Hire a one-on-one optimization coach. Get your target date insights blood work. Strength train 3 to 4 times per week. Prioritize your sleep and sleep quality. Make sure you master the macro allocation system. Manage your stress proactively. Build strong relationships. Track your health metrics for preventative care. The point isn't to copy billionaires exactly. You don't have the same resources. But it's time to shift from reactive healthcare to proactive health optimization. Even a 10K investment can pay off as millions down the road. You don't have to drop $500K a year like my billionaire client to reap the rewards. And let's be honest, longevity isn't about one magic bullet. One peptide isn't gonna save your ass. It's about comprehensive, sustained investment in multiple areas: diagnostics, prevention, optimization, and lifestyle. The ultra wealthy understand this is a system and not just a supplement. And lastly, the empire mindset is that wealth means nothing without your health. And this may have been a lot to take in so far, but let me tie this all together with a story. I worked with a millionaire who's built a powerhouse of a brokerage. Brilliant guy, absolute workaholic. Had to reel that in a little bit. He has neglected his health for decades. Fast food, no exercise, 4 hours of sleep, constant stress. At 52, he had a massive stroke. He survived, but he lost motor function on his left side. His speech was impaired, his cognitive process slowed, and here's what he told me a year later. I've spent nearly 30 years building a $90 million company. I thought I was invincible. I thought it would last forever. I thought I would have time just to focus on my health later. Now I have all the money in the world and I can't play with my grandkids. I can't travel like I want to. I can't think as clearly. I'd give half my net worth back for my health at 45. His daughter has to bathe and change him. His Porsche and his Lamborghini, he can't drive them. All that status crumbled overnight. Because here's the brutal truth: wealth compounds, but so does neglect. Every decision you make or don't make about your body is compounding right now. Good sleep will compound into better cognition, recovery, and longevity. Poor sleep compounds into inflammation, cognitive decline, and disease. It's proven. Exercise compounds into strength, resilience, and vitality. Being sedentary compounds into weakness, injury, fragility, and laziness. Whole foods compound into cellular health. Processed foods compound into metabolic dysfunction. The billionaires get this. They're playing the long game as long as possible. They understand an empire without health is just money you can't enjoy. Legacy without longevity is an impact you can't sustain, and it fizzles out. Wealth without wellness is a fortune without a future. And this is why they are obsessed with optimization. This is why they spend millions on their bodies. This is why they track every biomarker just like they do inside their business, just like they do inside of their stock portfolio. Because at the end of the day, your body is the vehicle that carries you through life. And once this vehicle breaks down, nothing else matters. The ultra wealthy have figured out that longevity isn't about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to the years you have. It's about staying sharp and capable for as long as possible so that you can enjoy your wealth, guide your legacy, and make the impact that you were meant to make. So here's the question. If billionaires are willing to invest millions into their longevity and health optimization because they understand it's the foundation for everything else, why the fuck are you not investing in yours? And more importantly, Are you structuring your wealth strategy to support your health strategy? Because here's what I've learned. These two things are inseparable. Your financial performance and your physical performance are connected. And that is exactly what we focus on here at the Capital Performance Solution. At the Capital Performance Solution, we don't just manage money. We help high performers build integrated wealth and health strategies. Because what good is a massive portfolio if you're too burned out to enjoy it? What good is financial freedom if you don't have the health to take advantage of it? I work with entrepreneurs, executives, and investors who want to build health and wealth that compounds over decades, not just years. Who want to optimize their financial and physical performance so they can invest in their health. Who want to create a prime legacy that stands the test of time. And structure your resources to support peak performance in your body and inside your business. And lastly, think like the ultra wealthy when it comes to prevention and optimization. We will help you engineer a life where health and wellness work together, because the high status individuals I've worked with have taught me this. The real 1% aren't just the wealthiest, they're the ones who are wealthy, healthy, and have body status at age 80. They're the ones building empires and maintaining the energy to run them. They're the ones who understand that your body is your most important asset, and they invest accordingly. So click the link in the description down below for a free consultation with me, or DM me the word on Instagram solution if you want to get rolling without a call. Let's build a strategy that helps you perform and extend your peak for the next 3 decades or more. Because you don't need to be a billionaire to think like one. You just need the right systems.